10 investigators.
Good morning. On a rampage, a man plows a bulldozer into at least 7 buildings, leaving behind a huge path of destruction in a small Colorado town. Today, Saturday, June 5th, 2004.
From NBC News, this is Today, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And welcome everyone to Today on this Saturday morning. I'm Lester Holt.
And I'm Campbell Brown. The driver of the bulldozer has been identified as 52-year-old Marvin Heemeyer. Officials in Granby, Colorado say he was holding a grudge over a zoning dispute. Among the buildings he damaged, the city hall, a local newspaper office, and a home owned by the town's former mayor.
Campbell, the rampage went on for more than 2 hours before the bulldozer got stuck in a warehouse and authorities were able to surround it. This morning, they found Heemeyer dead inside the cab. In just a moment, we'll go live to Granby for the latest, and we'll talk to a man who was inside one of the buildings when it was hit by the bulldozer.
And then it's the main event in the world of horse racing. I did not write that. The Belmont Stakes, which will be run later today at Belmont Park in Elmont, New York. Derby winner and Preakness winner Smarty Jones is the front runner for this race as well. And if he wins, he'll become the first Triple Crown winner in 26 years. But the conditions are expected to be less than stellar for the race with rain in the forecast, although he's managed to rain before. And it was the Kentucky Derby it was raining, I think.
Yeah, they call him Mutter.
Yeah, we'll get more on that in just a few minutes.
It was a day that changed our nation and our world, the D-Day invasion by Allied forces in Normandy, France 60 years ago. This morning we're going to go live to Normandy and talk with NBC's Tom Brokaw about the events surrounding the anniversary. Also, he'll have an exclusive interview with French President Jacques Chirac.
We're also going to take a look at another part of history, the Titanic. It went down almost a century ago. The wreckage wasn't found until the mid-1980s, and now something is posing a threat to what's left of the ship. We'll talk to the man who's trying to save it, and we'll show you some exclusive new video from there as well.
I'm always fascinated by those sorts of things going down to the shipwrecks, and of course, particularly the Titanic. Busy morning ahead. Let's get started at the news desk, and MSNBC's Amy Robach is here this morning. Amy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Lester. Good morning, Campbell. More now on that destructive bulldozer rampage in Colorado. Officials say the man at the controls was a local shop owner, bitter over a town ruling. NBC's Kevin Tipples is in Granby with the latest. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, Amy. It is a surreal scene here in Granby this morning. Collapsed buildings, crushed cars, and bulldozer tracks all over town. The small town of Granby in the heart of the Colorado Rockies literally torn apart by a man driving what many describe as a homemade tank, a bulldozer outfitted with armored plating.
There was officers getting on top of the vehicle, firing just point-blank range, and nothing was going through.
The man, identified as Marvin Heemeyer, drove into the center of town bent on demolition, tearing down building after building, including Granby's City Hall. The town's library did not escape the rampage, neither did the local newspaper and a nearby cement factory.
It's like a tornado that hop, skipped, and jumped its way down Main Street.
Dozens of police officers converged on the town, firing several rounds at the bulldozer. Heemeyer apparently fired back with a .50 caliber weapon. Overnight, police set off a number of explosive devices trying to flush the suspect from his iron fortress. Just before dawn, the sheriff's department said Heemeyer was found dead. The Colorado governor traveled to Granby to assess the situation.
We expect that state assistance will be available to help them rebuild.
Witnesses say the man did not appear to be targeting people. Still, Granby has been left in a shambles and in shock. And the motive for all this destruction, people here say Heemeyer was angry over a zoning dispute with the town, so he decided to take his frustrations out on the town, literally. Amy?
Unbelievable. Kevin Tipples live for us in Granby. Thank you very much. President Bush is due in Paris today, where he will meet with French President Jacques Chirac. This morning, he met Italy's prime minister, a key ally in the Iraq war in Rome. The president vowed to stay in Iraq as long as needed and called the war on terror the, quote, challenge of our time. At the United Nations, a new draft resolution on Iraq would allow the interim government to order the U.S.-led coalition forces from the country. That resolution was drafted by the U.S. and Great Britain. Meanwhile, one U.S. soldier was killed during an attack on a U.S. convoy in Baghdad. And new video shows another hostage situation in Iraq. This time, a Kuwaiti truck driver was captured. Vice President Cheney was questioned by federal prosecutors investigating the leak of a CIA agent's identity. The New York Times quotes sources who say Cheney was not under oath and has not been asked to appear in front of the grand jury investigating the leak. Former Republican Senator John Danforth has been nominated by President Bush to serve as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Danforth was senator from Missouri for 18 years, winning support on both sides of the political aisle. His nomination needs Senate confirmation. And Smarty Jones, the Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner, could claim the first Triple Crown in 26 years today. The Chestnut Colt is favored to win the Belmont Stakes in New York this afternoon, and you can watch the stakes right here on NBC beginning at 5:30 Eastern Time. That's the latest news. Now back to Lester and Campbell.
That's one pampered horse.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Amy.
His nails were being done. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah. But everybody there is watching the weather, obviously. Rain predicted for the race today. And we've got with us Amy Freeze from our Philadelphia affiliate, WCAU. Welcome to you. Janice Huff is off.
Good morning to the both of you. I hail from Smarty Country, actually. Everyone in Philadelphia rooting for the horse this morning. And we start with the radar for New York City, and you'll be able to see that the rain showers are moving towards Elmont, where they will run periods of rain off and on through tonight. The temperatures are going to be in the low 60s early on, but then dropping very quickly once the rain starts. Right now, the rain is not touching the ground yet, but it will a little later on. Stormy through the central plains today. You can see severe storms are expected there, and also in the northwest, a strong cold front could produce some very strong storms, but hot and dry for the west. Down through Texas, temperatures are still going to be in the 80s and 90s once again today. Watch out for the central plains and the northeast with that stormy weather. Now, here's a look at what's happening outside your front door.
Thank you very much, Amy. Good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Dave Warren with your Earthwatch weather forecast. Today we've got rain mainly in the morning, but showers continuing this afternoon. A breezy and cool day with a northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Rain slow to clear out, but by tonight, just mostly cloudy skies. Overnight down to the 50s in Philadelphia, 56 in the suburbs. And the Earthwatch 7-day forecast is the rain clearing out and then some very warm air by Thursday and Friday up to the 90s. Have a great weekend.
That'll do it for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. Lester?
All right, Amy, thanks very much. On Close-Up this morning, the bulldozer rampage in Granby, Colorado. Among the buildings destroyed, the headquarters of the town's newspaper. Patrick Brower is the paper's publisher and was there when the bulldozer tore through a wall. Patrick, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
We've been reporting on Mr. Heemeyer's problem with the zoning ordinance. Your paper had been reporting on that. Tell me about the relationship between you and this man.
Well, Marv and I had known each other for many years, started initially with a dispute over an attempt to bring gambling to Grand Lake about 12, 13 years ago. He was in favor of it and the newspaper was not, so we didn't get off on the right foot.
When you heard that the rampage was going on, was there any question in your mind who was likely in the cab of that bulldozer?
When I heard he had gone into the Mountain Parks concrete building, I basically concluded immediately that it was probably Marvin.
And then, did he know he was targeting the newspaper, the building that your newspaper is housed in, do you believe?
It really didn't occur to me until he slammed into it. Me and another editor, we stood there and waited because we wanted to get some photos after the evacuation, and he was passing by in front of the building, and it didn't really occur to me until he hit it, and that's when I knew without a doubt that it was Marvin.
And did you fear for your personal safety, not only in your place of business, but your family and your home?
Well, yes. At that moment, as I was in the building, I realized that he could target my house as well. He knows where I live, or knew where I live, and when he hit the building, I ran out, gave my camera to my fellow editor, and ran home as quickly as I could, grabbed my wife and my child, and put them in my car and left town.
As we reported, this is a small town. Give me your sense viewing the destruction there. What's it like?
Well, it's awful. Many people's livelihood, including mine, has been severely damaged in this event. It seems senseless because even though he did disagree with the town and many other people here, this sort of action is just not warranted. People here can agree to disagree. this is a rare case.
You say you weren't surprised when you found out who was in the bulldozer, but were you surprised at the timing? Did you see this coming, that this thing had reached a boiling point with him?
Actually, I thought things had passed. The property that he owned that was involved in the dispute with the town, he had sold it. I kind of assumed that all this was behind us.
Are you surprised, witnessing the destruction, being so close to it yourself, that no one else was hurt in this?
I'm extremely surprised. If anyone in my office had decided to stick around or been sitting at their desk, fallen asleep, whatever, he probably would have killed them. My building is almost a complete loss. I'm surprised that no one's hurt.
Mr. Brown, will you be able to publish this headline?
Our next paper is due to come out Tuesday, and I intend to have a paper out.
And again, looking at the history of this man and this city, was there anything, any warning sign, anything anyone could have done to prevent this, you think?
There are rumors going around that people knew he was building something odd down there in that building. Based on that, maybe if someone had been more forthcoming with that information, perhaps someone could have stopped it. I didn't really suspect that Marv would have done something like this.
All right, well, Patrick Brower, we're glad you're okay, and we really appreciate you taking a moment to speak with us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, here now is Campbell.
Lester, thank you. Events are being held all weekend in Normandy to mark the 60th anniversary of the D-Day invasion by Allied forces during World War II. NBC's Tom Brokaw is in Normandy for the historic occasion and has an exclusive interview with French President Jacques Chirac. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, Campbell. The French president and I met yesterday in the Élysée Palace. He really wanted to confine his remarks to the D-Day observation, but he knew that he couldn't separate the past from the present. Among the other questions I asked him, the President of the United States, George W. Bush, of course, has been talking this past week at great length about the comparison of World War II then and now.
Unity between France and the United States is something that has existed ever since the establishment, the inception of the United States, 200 years ago. Now, as ever, and as in every family, there might be difficulties, diverging views, but unity is something that has never been questioned, at least never been called into question by France, and I don't think it has ever been called into question by the US either.
President Bush has been comparing this time with World War II, saying it's a choice between liberty and tyranny. Do you see D-Day as an appropriate time to make that kind of comparison?
I must say that the issues are slightly different from our point of view. We were under Nazi yoke, under Nazi tyranny. We had been deprived of our freedom and liberty, and liberty rolled in. So it is a vital point of our modern history. This is an event in and of itself. There are no specific links with other situations, but be they in the past, in the future, or today. It is a moment for commemoration, a moment for celebration, a moment in which we should show our respect and gratitude vis-à-vis the United States.
The President also said that he does expect the UN resolution to be approved sooner rather than later, and he told me, surprisingly, that he thinks it can be worked out between the new governing force in Iraq and the United States on how they go forward with military operations. So President Bush, when he arrives here today, I think will find the President of France eager to do business on a new plane with the United States, Campbell.
Tom, apart from the politics, this is such a personal event for so many veterans who were there and are now returning for the anniversary. I can't imagine what it's like for them. I'm sure you've talked to many of them.
I have, Campbell. I've been coming here for 20 years, and of course, this is probably the last significant anniversary for many of these veterans. They were teenagers, many of them, when they arrived here on these shores 60 years ago, or in their early 20s, now in their late 70s and mid 80s. And when they come back to Normandy, you have no sense of any tension at all between France and the United States, because in this part of France, there is no country as great or as beloved as the United States, and no one is treated with greater regard than a gray-haired veteran wearing one of those distinctive patches that says ancien combattant. That means an old soldier. and they're being celebrated everywhere they go here, Campbell.
Tom, tell us, if you can, a little bit about the event tomorrow, what we're going to see to mark the anniversary.
Well, tomorrow morning, early at 9:30 French time, President Chirac and President Bush will have joint ceremonies here at Colville-sur-Mer. That's the American cemetery overlooking Omaha Beach. And then the French and the British will have ceremonies. Later in the afternoon, there will be international ceremonies at Arromanches, which is farther down the beach. And the Queen of England, the British Prime Minister, the German Chancellor, the Russian President, the President of the United States, and the President of France, as well as 100 American veterans who were brought here, courtesy of the French government, and given France's highest civilian honor, the French Legion of Honor. That was part of the ceremonies as well.
And we will certainly all be watching. Thanks, Tom. NBC's Tom Brokaw in Normandy, France, and you can watch live coverage of the 60th anniversary of D-Day throughout the day on MSNBC. Now here's Lester.
Campbell, thanks. It's a big day for horse racing today as Smarty Jones tries to become the first Triple Crown winner in more than a quarter century. NBC's Ann Thompson is at Belmont Park in Elmont, New York with more. Ann, good morning.
Good morning, Lester. It's been 26 years since a horse that won the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes, and the Preakness also won the Belmont Stakes, which is the marathon race of the Triple Crown. And this morning, the smart money is on Smarty Jones to do just that.
This weekend, the hottest celebrity in New York has 4 legs, not 2. Smarty Jones, every gallop, his every bow, a media event. As the horse that has captured America's imagination tries to capture racing's most elusive prize.
And it's on to Belmont.
The only thing that I think could beat him is the Triple Crown itself. And that's the fact that 3 races in 5 weeks over 3 different racetracks at 3 different distances. It's so hard to do.
Today, the 3-year-old stands a 1.5 miles away from racing immortality, the length of the Belmont Stakes. 28 horses have tried, only 11 have succeeded. But Smarty has made a career of defying the odds. Small for a thoroughbred, his career was almost derailed by a near-fatal accident that fractured his skull. His jockey, a recovering alcoholic. His trainer, an unknown at these levels. His owner, a retired car dealer with emphysema. An underdog who is undefeated, and the nation loves him.
I think that they're not only rooting for the horse, they're rooting for the connections also. And I think the combination of both has really grabbed people.
This race is sold out. Belmont is hoping for its biggest crowd ever. Officials expect a whopping $60 million to be wagered on the race. Betting this horse can make the sport of kings the sport of the people.
The best thing that Smarty Jones does for the sport is he brings new people in.
Drawn to the charismatic colt, poised to become racing's next legend.
Now, gray skies and drizzle are forecast for post time, and that could slow the track. So how does Smarty Jones perform on a sloppy track? Well, the last time he faced such conditions, he won the Kentucky Derby. Lester?
NBC's Ann Thompson at Belmont Park. Ann, thanks very much. Bill Foster is the stable foreman for Smarty Jones. Bill, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Lester.
Did you get any sleep last night?
Yes, I finally did. Wednesday night and Thursday night, I told John yesterday I hadn't slept for 2 hours each night. And last night I managed to get 6, so I'm quite pleased with that.
And I want to ask you how Smarty Jones is, and I want to ask you by saying, is the routine such and so familiar that this horse senses a big race is at hand?
Oh, absolutely. When we shipped to Belmont Park on Wednesday, I remarked to John on Thursday that he knows what's going on. You know, by shipping from Philadelphia to Belmont, it became clear to the horse it's time to go to work. And when I left the barn this morning, he was outside frisky as ever, and I'm sure I didn't get to see him walk this morning, but I'm sure he was a handful.
Hey, if you count Arkansas, when you look at the other 2 races, that'll be 4 races in a relatively short amount of time, and this one is a half mile longer than the Kentucky Derby. What's that do to a horse?
Well, actually, it's a quarter of a mile longer. And with a horse like Smarty Jones, I don't think it's going to affect him that much because he's very easy on himself when he runs. He's very athletic. He's agile. He seems to float over the ground. And the way he paces himself and the way he's learned to relax, I can't foresee any problem with that.
Have you seen a horse embraced by the public in quite the way Smarty Jones has?
You know, I was thinking of that while I was waiting to go on, and it came to me that he's like the Constitution. He's of the people, by the people, and for the people.
I want to ask you about the jockey, Stuart Elliott. This is his first race at Belmont. What do you think he's feeling right now?
Knowing Stu, he's probably still sleeping. Stu's a very cool customer, and that's the way we like it anyway. We try to keep things quiet around the horse, and Stu's that kind of guy. He's very cool under pressure, and I think that basically we all are, and that's the way we want it.
Obviously, you're attached to this horse, but trying to step back just a moment, why do you think this horse's odds of winning the Triple Crown are greater than so many others that have tried and failed?
I think the main reason is that he's won 8 straight races at 8 different distances, and he's done it with style and flair, and he carries himself like a champion. If you were to watch him and spend any time around him, after he runs, he carries himself like a true professional. And he has a sense about him that when he wins a race, he'll let you know he won it, and he'll let the other horses know. He's a very proud horse, and I think as long as he's got that competitive desire burning inside him, I don't think that it's going to be hard for a horse to beat him. And I've tried to envision somebody going past him because nobody ever has.
Well,
I don't know what I would think or what it would look like.
We're enjoying the ride with you, Bill Foster. Good luck. Thanks very much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you for your time, Lester. I appreciate it.
Now, once again, here's Campbell.
Thanks, Lester. Mark Beach is a writer for Sports Illustrated and is covering today's race. Hey there, Mark.
Hi, Campbell. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We've talked about nothing but Smarty Jones, so let's talk about the competition. Who are the other horses to watch?
Well, the big horse to watch is Rock Hard 10, and he is actually a very big horse. He's over 17 hands, which is huge for a 3-year-old colt. And he's only run 4 career races. His 4th race was the Preakness, a Grade 1, and he was the best horse in that race except for one other, and that was Smarty Jones.
This is the 7th Triple Crown that you've covered, I believe. Is that right? Put it in a historical perspective. How does Smarty Jones rate?
Well, compared to the last 7 or 8 horses, there have actually been, well, six horses in the last 8 years. He's pretty much better than all those horses. That's the general consensus. Each one of those horses, there were people inside racing were kind of ambivalent about them winning the Triple Crown, even though the public wanted it a great deal. But it's not that way with Smarty Jones. I was very surprised after the Preakness to hear people talk about him in the sort of hushed tones reserved for, you know, the great ones.
The rain today, what does that mean for the race, do you think?
Well, it means you know, at least a wet track, and you know, at worst a sloppy track. And while that shouldn't bother Smarty Jones, it sort of makes the rest of the field unpredictable.
All right, Mark, we will all be watching. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, Campbell, nice talking to you.
And we'll be back with more, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Last summer, one of our biggest reality shows was a joke.
I get all my hair products at Petco.
Last Comic Standing is back.
Are you talking to me?
And the search is on for America's funniest person.
You know why I pulled you over? I'm like, I don't know, because I was speeding. He goes, no, because you're black.
You'll see the best.
Mexican music singers sound like they're shrinking, don't they?
And the rest. Last Comic Standing, NBC Tuesday, 8/7 Central.
There's only room at the top for one, and since the Great American Ford sales event was such a huge success, we're making you our #1 priority by extending it to give you a great American deal. Get into the versatility of Ford Freestar with its full flat 3rd-row seat and the government's highest frontal crash test rating. Now drive away in a Freestar with your choice of $5,000 cash back or lease one for $259 a month. There's only one Great American Ford sales event, and you've made it possible. So visit your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
We went cool as a cucumber, and so very smooth. Rounded up 3 cheeses. We revved up ranch. Kraft has all kinds of ranch for whatever mood you're in. We revved up the flavor. We revved up ranch.
We zeroed out the carbs and zeroed in on flavor. New dressings with 0 carbs. Kraft Carb Well dressings. 100% flavor, 0 grams of carbs. We revved up the flavor. We zeroed out the carbs.
Ow! Good morning, Mr. Backing.
I didn't sleep so good myself. It's this old mattress.
Time to visit the Sealy Sleep Center.
At Raymore and Flanagan?
So smart. One reason I married you.
Enjoy free delivery and more at the Sealy Sleep Centers at Raymore and Flanagan, where Posturepedic twin mattresses are just $139 and Posturepedic pillow top queen sets are just $549.
Now this is a mattress. Hey, what about one of the big screen TV first?
You know, that new sofa in the den is a sleeper.
I hear that.
Well, all the talk about Smarty Jones, let me offer my own horse racing tip. NBC Sports coverage of the Belmont Stakes, 5:30 Eastern Time, right here on NBC.
Plus exclusive video from the Titanic after these messages in your local news.
Smarty Jones looks to become the first horse in over a quarter century to win the Visa Triple Crown. The Belmont Stakes, today, 5:30 Eastern, NBC. This is NBC 10 News Today.
Good Saturday morning. I'm Denise Nakano with an NBC 10 News update. Let's start with Dave Warren's Earthwatch forecast from the Weather Center.
And we are keeping an eye out for some rain this morning. One live picture we have is from Cape May, the southern tip of Cape May County, the Marquis de Lafayette Hotel. Looking across out over the Atlantic Ocean, had some showers there this morning. Now much of the rain is moving north, but we still have light showers across the area. Light to moderate rain just north of Philadelphia and more developing south along the Pennsylvania and Maryland border. So we do expect to see more showers today, and it's going to be a breezy and cool afternoon with a northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Denise?
Thanks, Dave. Let's see how the rain's affecting traffic. Good morning, Siafa.
Good morning, Denise. The Benjamin Franklin Parkway inbound inner drive only is closed from Eakins over to 20th Street because they're setting up for the Wachovia Pro Cycling Championship tomorrow. Also, I have to report here for you, northbound on the Blue Route, you'll see here just past the Lima Springfield exit. An accident has just been cleared. Take your time out there, folks. Taking a look at the area bridges, you'll see the Betsy Ross Bridge and Ben Franklin Bridge are looking great. However, westbound on the Walt Whitman Bridge is an accident blocking one lane on the upside into Philadelphia. Again, the roadways are wet out there, folks. Take your time. Live from the Traffic Pulse Center, I'm Siafa Lewis. Back to you, Denise and John.
All right, Siafa, thank you. In the news this morning, a teenager shot dead and a police officer is hurt after a shootout in Reading. The officer was shot near Oley Street and Schuylkill Avenue. The 17-year-old was shot and killed on Weiser Street. It happened just before midnight, and witnesses say there are at least 3 shooting scenes. In Wilmington, police say 26-year-old Melvin Williams killed Keith Quayles. It happened sometime before Thursday in a home on North Monroe Street. Officers found the body after neighbors complained about a foul odor. At least one person is killed in a deadly accident this morning in Montgomery County. NBC 10 was at Jarretttown and Dublin Road in Upper Dublin Township. A flatbed truck towed one car from the scene. We can't talk about it enough. Tonight, Smarty Jones runs for the Triple Crown, and the horse from Philadelphia Park will be surrounded by many of his fans. Some Smarty fans are already off and running in New York City, and thousands more are expected to make the trip today. And you're invited to a Smarty party today at 22nd and the Parkway from 4:30 till 8 p.m. It's hosted by NBC 10 and the City of Philadelphia. Watch all the Smarty fun outside on a Jumbotron for free. Our Smarty Jones special reports air on the big screen at 4:30, then watch the race live and stay through an NBC 10 post-race special. And NBC 10 is the place to watch Smarty Jones run for the Triple Crown. Live coverage of the Belmont Stakes begins today at 5:30. And that's the news for now. I'm Denise Nakano. Thanks for joining us. The Today Show continues here on NBC 10 with Lester and Campbell. Have a great day.
We at Raymore and Flanagan Furniture have always been driven by providing great customer service, but we're also driven by being active in the community. We're proud of our partnership with NBC 10's Homework Helpline. If your child's struggling with his or her homework, Homework Helpline could provide the guidance your child needs to achieve good grades. Homework Helpline is a free call-in service available during the school year. At Raymore and Flanagan, we realize that education is truly the key to success.
At South Jersey Healthcare, we thought of you when building our new regional medical center in Vineland. You'll see the latest in hospital design, helping to provide the best in patient care. You asked for comfort and privacy, so all our rooms are private. And you'll find the most advanced medical technology in one convenient place. South Jersey Healthcare's Regional Medical Center, the newest, most modern hospital in New Jersey, opening August. South Jersey Healthcare, the hallmark of excellence. For career opportunities, call or go online.
Mom, I'm tired of bathing at this yucky gas station.
Sean, the contractor said they'd be finished remodeling the bathroom in a few days.
Yeah, but it's already been over a week.
Why go to this expense and trouble? Call Bath Fitter. We'll install an acrylic liner over your existing tub without the cost or hassle of remodeling. And with matching seamless wall liners, you have a new bath in about a day.
Call Bath Fitter with a perfect fit. Next.
They are jumping to remember. You're looking live at American troops from the 101st, 82nd, and 173rd Airborne Divisions. They are parachuting over Normandy, France to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the D-Day Allied invasion, the event that changed the course of World War II. Look at that. Wow.
That is stunning. Of course, the original jump they were taking ground fire, and many of the jumpers were scattered, and they had to link up on the ground, but such an important role in trying to keep the German resupplies and counterattack that day.
We'll all be watching the big event tomorrow to mark the anniversary. Back inside Studio 1A on this Saturday morning, June 5th, 2004. I'm Campbell Brown, along with Lester Holt. And ahead in this half hour, more on D-Day. A new book has compiled compelling accounts of what happened 6 decades ago from the men and women who were there. And we'll talk to one of the authors in just a few minutes.
Then return to the Titanic. The man who first found the doomed ship's wreckage is now trying to figure out why a new threat is damaging the ship as it sits in its final resting place. We'll talk to Robert Ballard about that live from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
And a little later on, how much is too much when it comes to giving your kid an allowance? You have thoughts on this, I'm sure?
My wife takes care of the allowance. I'm not sure how much they get.
But first, yeah, look into that. But let's go outside first for another check of the weekend forecast from Amy Freeze. She's from our NBC affiliate in Philadelphia, WCAU, and is filling in for Janice. Amy, good morning again.
Good morning to the both of you. Hello, everyone. It's still dry here in New York City, but we are expecting the rain showers. A lot of people wondering about that big horse race in Belmont today. And the showers will be moving in, but it's going to take a little time, some drier air. You can expect by race time for it to be windy, raw, and wet, so call it a wet track. It's that area of low pressure right there on the East Coast. It's going to make it a messy day for much of the New England area as well. Through the Central Plains, a stormy day, and a cold front back to the northwest will keep it cool and bring some showers for the second half of the weekend. It'll be mild with the storms pushing eastward. Now, here's a look at the weather outside your front door.
Thank you very much, Amy. Good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Dave Warren with your Earthwatch weather forecast. Today we've got rain mainly in the morning, but showers continuing this afternoon. A breezy and cool day with a northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Rain slow to clear out, but by tonight, just mostly cloudy skies. Overnight down to the 50s in Philadelphia, 56 in the suburbs. And the Earthwatch 7-day forecast is the rain clearing out and then some very warm air by Thursday and Friday up to the 90s. Have a great weekend.
Now we go back to Campbell.
Amy, thank you. The start of the Summer Olympic Games is 69 days away, and the question on a lot of people's minds is, will Athens be ready when it comes to construction and security? Dora Bakoyannis is the mayor of Athens. Good morning. It's nice to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, I know that your city has been kind of like a giant construction site for months now. Given the deadline, what do you think? Are you ready?
I would say for years. It was a difficult time for Athens. Athens has completely changed. It's a new city now with a new infrastructure. And yes, the answer is very clear. We will be finished. Yesterday, the roof of the stadium, which was one of our biggest worries, came together. We can be proud of our technological achievement. We managed, so everything will be ready for you to come over.
Well, that has been the real showplace venue of the games, the stadium itself with the glass and steel
Well, you know, the
roof.
stadium was ready anyway, so what we wanted was this roof. Many people thought it was too much. But anyway, it's new architecture. You know, we have the Parthenon. You know, we have all our wonderful antiques. Well, we needed also something very modern to give the message of modern Greece.
Security is obviously a huge concern, and some of the critics have said that the construction delays have made it difficult to prepare and to test for security. How do things stand now?
No, that's not true. I think that Greece's security plan is the biggest ever used in Olympic Games. We broke a record there. We didn't want to break this record.
More money. It's 1.2 billion.
1.2 billion. It's 4 times the money Sydney spent for security. But we want to make everything needed for securing the Games. So we have 75,000 people who are well trained for the security. We have the NATO umbrella over Greece. We have a very good working relation and cooperation with 7 countries, between them United States, Israel, Australia, etc. I think we have a very good security plan. And all these venues, they get checked, they get cleaned by the language of the technicians, and then they are going on security level, Olympic security level.
Well, you've also had, putting people on edge, I think, a little more with the bombings in May, targeting police stations.
But whoever knows about Greece and Europe knows that these kind of things are very, very small incidents. I'm unfortunately somebody who dealt with terrorism practically the last 15 years of my life. You know when it's serious and when it is not. Unfortunately, we in Greece, we knew it also because we had our local terrorism. We dealt with it 3 years ago, and it was a very, very important for us to finish with our locals. But this kind of small incidents are not really terrorism or not really serious.
Another big challenge when you have thousands of people descending on your city, and you're used to tourism, but not in the way you're going to have the crowds for the Olympics, is the challenge is public transportation, the infrastructure, aside from what you need from the Games. How are you managing with that?
Well, we were lucky. We were not only lucky, it was the legacy for Athens, practically a whole new transportation system. So the metro has been expanded, it goes now, it will go with the train until the airport. We have a new airport, we have a new motorway which makes our life much easier because traffic is not going through the city. We have a new tramway, 200 new buses with air condition. Athens has gained a completely different transportation system from this goal for the Games. So the people who will visit us won't have problems with the transportation, we believe. And later on, the Athenians will have a very modern and very new transportation for them.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we are all hoping that all goes well. Everyone's got their fingers crossed.
And come over in August. I think you will have a marvelous time in our city.
Good luck with everything. Thanks for being
you.
with us. And still to come this morning, the man who found the Titanic goes back to the wreckage almost 20 years after his discovery. We'll talk to him about the new threat to the ship and show you some never-before-seen video. Plus, Pottermania is taking the nation by storm, but something is different about this latest Harry movie. We'll explain after these messages.
Even in the darkest of times.
The beauty, the elegance, the tradition, the power, the moment, the race, the anticipation, the thrill, and the brains.
And Smarty Jones takes the lead.
Looks like keeping up with the Joneses just got a little harder. Good luck, Smarty Jones, on your bid to win the Visa Triple Crown this weekend. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
What touched your face today? Your blush. All 4 touch-ups. Pond's introduces the first towelette with exfoliating microbeads and refreshing cucumber. To take everything that goes on your face, off your face. Pond's exfoliating towelette.
Warm seasoned beef, cheddar jack cheese, crispy tortilla strips, and Newman's Own all-natural salsa. I'm gonna just not just have a salad. The new premium Fiesta salad from McDonald's.
Playmates. Workmates. Life mates. You always know when you've met your match, because you just aren't you without them. Like coffee isn't coffee without Coffee Mate. It's so velvety smooth, so many fabulous flavors. From hazelnut to creamy chocolate. Make your cup complete. Coffee Mate from Nestle. Coffee's perfect mate.
Love half and half? Try new Coffee Mate half and half in 3 delicious flavors.
my cholesterol. Hey, I lowered my cholesterol.
Lowered my cholesterol.
In case you haven't already heard the news, Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower your cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet, and with its sweet honey taste. That ought to make you really happy.
Hi, I lowered my cholesterol.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Be happy, be healthy.
It is the story of D-Day in the words of the man who made history. The book and accompanying CDs called Voices of Valor, D-Day, June 6, 1944. One of the voices featured in is that of Army veteran Hyman Haas. He remembers what he was thinking when he hit the beach on that fateful day.
What really frightened me was that I wouldn't measure up. I might be too frightened to move. That frightened me more than anything else. I never thought about being killed or hurt or anything like that. Never gave it a thought.
Ann Curry sat down with one of the authors, noted historian Douglas Brinkley, and she asked him how the idea to put together a written and oral history of D-Day came about.
The late Stephen Ambrose, back in 1982, he had been General Eisenhower's biographer, and he decided, wouldn't it have been great during the Civil War to have had a tape recorder and have heard the voices of the men of Gettysburg or Antietam or Shiloh, and he realized, I can do it with D-Day. These guys are around, it's just people are ignoring them. So he began an oral history project with my center, the Eisenhower Center, long before I was there, interviewing D-Day veterans, and this collection's just accumulated. And my co-author of my book, Ron Drez, was a captain during the Vietnam War, very good military historian, and he's been carrying on doing these oral histories. So this is sort of a compendium of our best voices of valor.
And in this book, when you say compendium, it's not only in written form, you've got 2 CDs in which people can actually hear those voices. So now you're a historian, you hear these men who rose up on this day and in the days before really and even the days after to become heroes, to do what was beyond perhaps their imagination. What do we glean in hearing these voices?
Well, you know, Tom Brokaw, as you know, dubbed this group the greatest generation. And when we started doing these tape recordings and you listen to their voices, I started thinking, you know, it's one thing to read it in a transcript, but to hear the emotion sometimes when they're talking about, you know, climbing the 100-foot cliffs at Omaha Beach, or what it was like walking out of a Higgins boat and suddenly sinking in the water and feeling like you're going to drown, or what it was like to be a paratrooper on the 101st and going behind enemy lines.
Not just facts, not just numbers. These are personal experiences of war. And you've got, and you take them, these anecdotes, one by one. We've got Fred Pathiger, he was an American paratrooper, and you discovered in these interviews he actually was born in Germany.
Well, exactly, and you find these incredible stories. I mean, and you know, there's also, I mean, we try to mix it up because it's only so much of the death you can take and of the lost people, the lost men, but we also have the humorous stories that occurred, you know, the people that fall into a pasture of cow manure, or somebody who gets stuck on a church steeple with their parachute and the church saved their lives. That's right. And there are these kind of great human stories in it. And we also try to bring in some of the German perspective. What was it like to be part of the German army there at the so-called Atlantic Wall at Normandy, seeing through the fog suddenly, here is this armada. I mean, the United States and Great Britain essentially moved a country from England across the Channel over to Normandy. And what was it like to be the Germans looking out into the ocean? So we try to really bring together what it was like to have been there on June 6th.
But the discovery of the truth of what it was like cannot really be told without the suffering that it entailed. And you hear, for example, from another person, Corporal Robert Miller, and he had his spine severed. He was hit. He would never walk again as he walked on that beach.
Well, you know, and sometimes people sometimes give figures about World War II. You see the number of dead, and it's always very, you know, the statistic shocks you. But when you talk to people, you realize beyond those figures of the dead, people like Mr. Miller, whose lives have been marred, scarred, in many ways ruined, yet they don't have bitterness, that they feel what they did to defeat Hitler, to make the world safe for democracy. They were willing to give up their spine, to give up the ability to walk.
Without bitterness.
Without bitterness. And to me, it's just been moving to get to know some of that generation and to realize that what courage really is, what real valor is. And it's the lack of bitterness for people that have been wounded that I find just very, very moving.
That was Ann Curry with Douglas Brinkley. For more on the 60th anniversary of D-Day, please check out my special broadcast, D-Day As It Happened. It airs tonight at 8 Eastern and tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC. And we'll be right back.
Think school is the only reason to treat your child's ADHD? Think again. ADHD affects many aspects of your child's life besides school, from playtime with friends to dinner with the family. Which is why now's the perfect time to ask your doctor about prescription Strattera. Strattera is the first and only FDA-approved non-stimulant ADHD medication. It effectively treats ADHD symptoms all day and even into the evening. Growth and weight should be monitored during treatment. Most side effects are mild and may include decreased appetite, nausea or vomiting, dizziness, tiredness, and mood swings. Tell your doctor if your child has a history of high or low blood pressure, increased heart rate, or any heart or blood vessel disease. Your child should not take Strattera if he or she is taking an MAOI or has narrow-angle glaucoma. So ask your doctor if Strattera is right for your child. And ask about a free sample. After all, wouldn't it be great to see your child's ADHD in a whole new light?
Bright Eyes Mascara. Triple the lift of every lash from Almay.
There's an easier way to get a 6-month supply of clean, great-tasting water. Pure water filters. Bottled water quality, right from your faucet. Pure water filters. Your water should be pure.
Hello? What? They're interested in the house? Oh, that's great. Now? No, now is not a good time.
Not working with the Century 21 agent. Pledge point number 4. Century 21 agents value and respect your time.
You're where?
Just one of the ways to help reduce the stress of selling real estate. Century 21. Real estate for your world.
The man who discovered the Titanic almost 20 years ago at the bottom of the Atlantic has gone back to where it all started. Robert Ballard is trying to save the sunken ship from decay caused by environment and people. And his latest expedition is the subject of a new National Geographic documentary called Return to Titanic. National Geographic explorer-in-residence Robert Ballard joins us now from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean aboard the research ship Ronald H. Brown. Dr. Ballard, I know we have a slight delay here. Good morning to you. And let me begin by mentioning that I know you had some reservations about going back. I even read a quote, and I'm going to tell you what you said. I wanted to put the Titanic in my rearview mirror and never look back. But you're there now. Why the reservations?
Well, because over the intervening years, it's been almost 20 years since I found the Titanic. I've heard a lot of stories about what's happening to her. And I really wanted to do it scientifically. We collected an incredible database 20 years ago. We mosaicked her before the salvagers arrived, before the visitors arrived. And now what we're doing is redocumenting the ship. And we're seeing what has happened to her, what change has occurred, and trying to sort out whether that's natural change, which one can sort of understand and accept, but what about the human change? And what we're seeing is that I really don't think they should be bringing the big deep submersibles down to the Titanic now. They're banging into it. The landing sites, you can see where the submersibles are continuing to land on the deck of the Titanic, breaking it down. You really need to visit it with remotely operated vehicles like the ones we're using that don't touch the ship. I have no problem with people visiting the Titanic. I just don't want them to love it to death and knock it down with their big vehicles.
Well, it has been a bit extreme at times. There was a couple who even got married on the bow. Has this had an effect, or is it too soon to tell?
Well, you can actually see, we are on the bow right now with our vehicles. I was just in the command control center with we have incredible images coming up from the bottom. In fact, we've sent some to you that are shot with high-definition cameras, and I clearly could see where the submarines had landed on the bow, up near where they probably recovered the bell, or whether that's where a couple got married or whatever happened there. You can clearly see where the submarines has come down and landed on the deck and smashed it down some.
Do you believe that this ship may not be around or is in danger really of being damaged beyond repair because of the visitors and because of human interaction with it?
Well, if we can stop that, and we're working on a treaty, an international treaty. Remember, these are nations that are doing this. These are vehicle systems owned by governments. So if we can get treaties between governments, I think that's the only way it's going to happen. We've drafted a treaty. England has signed that treaty. The United States is about to. We need to get Russia and France and Canada, mostly Russia and France, to sign the treaty that if they come and visit the Titanic, they will not land on it, they will not run into it, they will not break it down, and that will extend the life of the ship for sure.
We're rolling some tape. I want to show people of something that you did found. This is some new video that is a bathtub that may have possibly been the captain's bathtub. Tell us about that.
Oh, it definitely is. It is absolutely the captain's bathtub. It's sort of interesting because the bulkhead, which was up when we were down 20 years ago, we could not get this shot. But the side of the captain's cabin has fallen down. We don't know whether that's a natural process or whether that's because a submarine bumped into it. But it does expose the interior. You can look in and actually see the faucets on the bathtub. It's quite amazing. Our color cameras can zoom in and really read in tremendous detail. We've been using these cameras to peek into all sorts of different parts of the ship. We were on the other side just yesterday looking in a window, and we could see a bowl resting on a shelf. We were looking down into the officers' cabins. It's quite remarkable, the detail that you can see. And again, we got very close, but we did not touch the ship at all, and we were able to obtain these images. We got within inches of the ship with our technology because it's so precisely controlled.
Well, Robert Ballard, the images are incredible, and we certainly wish you the best of luck with what you're trying to do out there. Thanks for joining us. And we should let people know that you can see Return to Titanic on the National Geographic Channel Monday night at 9 Eastern. We'll have more in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Jumpstart your summer at the Mann Center for the Performing Arts. Hi, I'm NBC 10's Dave Warren. The Mann Center kicks off the 2004 Arts in the Park series on Thursday, June 8th with Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado. Get your tickets now to see this hilarious musical comedy, a satire of human nature and political hypocrisy. For more information, call or log on to NBC10.com and click on the entertainment link. When you want to know what's going on, turn to NBC 10's Time Out.
Cucumber eye treatment, $45. Avocado hair infusion, $72. Citrus extract pedicure. Oh, you folks ought to shop at Acme. You could be saving a fortune on this stuff.
Don't miss our 4-day sale with Moran's Big Beef Patties. 5 pounds, just $5. Selected General Mills cereals, $1.88 each with SuperCard. And enjoy all kinds of fresh favorites at our Buck a Bag sale.
Oh, no thanks. I've got my own.
Acme, helping make your life easier.
Glamorous.
Fresh. Dazzling.
Whatever your adjective is, you can bring it to life during the Thomasville Memorial Weekend Sale. Come in for big savings throughout the store. Every great room starts with an adjective. What's yours?
Hurry in to your local Thomasville store before the sale ends on Sunday.
I'll go.
All right, you two, that's enough goofing around.
I think I'm afraid.
Time to turn out the light.
Wait, Mom, I just got to the best part.
This moment brought to you by Sylvan Learning Center. We begin by identifying your child's specific needs, followed by individual attention, personalized lesson plans, and progress reports for you.
A summer at Sylvan can make all the difference. Call 1-800-EDUCATE today.
Still to come this morning on Today, the common diseases and medical conditions even doctors sometimes miss.
Plus, why a new wizard is working his magic in the new Harry Potter movie after these messages and your local news.
Hey, Casey!
hotel questions you want answered. Is my hotel close to stuff I want to see? We'll tell you. Do they have a fun pool? We'll tell you. How about a health club? We'll tell you. We're the experts at Hotels.com, and we find out everything there is to know about hotels. And with over 12,000 properties, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for, including a great price, like New York from just $69.95. So log on or talk to one of our many trained hotel agents 24/7. Hotels.com. Best prices, best places, guaranteed.
I've lived here all my life. I'm not going anywhere. I've made arrangements for assistance if I need it. I'm a realist. I know I'll be old one day.
Long-term care coverage from Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company.
Daddy, let's read.
Gotta get rid of this headache fast.
The moment of choice. Which will work faster, Tylenol or Advil? Truth is, Advil liquid gels will. They work faster, stronger, better than Tylenol on tough headaches. Advance to Advil relief.
Sunday, an NBC News exclusive. President George W. Bush, the Tom Brokaw interview. On air, on cable, online. Sunday on NBC News.
This is NBC 10 News Today.
Good Saturday morning. I'm John Blunt. Meteorologist Dave Warren has that all-important Earth Watch forecast.
And we're looking at more rain to move through the area this morning. How about a live picture this right now from our Art Museum Circle? This is from the Mellon Bank building. You see there were some showers in the area this morning, but now just off and on showers. The heavier steady rain is pushing north of Philadelphia through Reading and Allentown, but another line of showers south of Lancaster, right along the Pennsylvania and Maryland border. So we will see showers continue through this afternoon. Periods of rain off and on. Temperatures only making it up into the upper 60s and a breezy northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. John?
Time to check the highways out there. Siapa Lewis, a digital traffic pulse.
Good morning, John. Just let you know, folks, the Delaware beaches, if you're headed towards them this week, and the Dover International Raceway will be very busy. Today we have the NASCAR NBA America 200 starting at 1 o'clock, so you can watch for heavy volumes on routes 1 and 13. Taking a look at a map behind me here in South Jersey this morning, you'll see where 42 freeway meets 676 and 76 at the base of the Walt Whitman Bridge. There was an accident blocking the left lanes into Philadelphia. The accident has since been moved over to the side. Police are still on the scene. And taking a look for those of you going down the shore this morning, 322, the Atlantic City Expressway and the Garden State Parkway are all moving smoothly this morning. Live in the Traffic Pulse Center, I'm Siapa Lewis. Back to you.
Thanks, Siapa. In the news, 2 New Jersey National Guard members are killed in an ambush in Iraq. The names of the soldiers from Brick and Carlstadt have not been released. 3 other soldiers were also killed, and 3 other New Jersey soldiers were wounded in the same attack. So while shootout in Reading, it kills a teenager and injures a police officer. The officer was shot near Oley and Schuylkill Avenue. The 17-year-old was shot and killed on Wisner Street. Witnesses say there are at least 3 other separate shooting scenes. A Philadelphia radio legend has died. Joe Niagara was reportedly the first disc jockey to play rock and roll in the Philadelphia area. He rolled as the #1 DJ for decades before retiring in July of 1999. Niagara died yesterday at the age of 76. Well, today's the day Philadelphia Park Smarty Jones could become the first Triple Crown winner in 26 years. Smarty was on the Belmont Park track yesterday. Today's rainy forecast adds an element of surprise to the race, but Smarty hasn't shown any signs of slowing down on a wet track. Smarty's last run in the rain was at the Kentucky Derby. Smarty's trainer says the rain should not be a problem.
It looks like it could be real bad. I hope we don't have to go through what we went through in Kentucky. And, I was really hoping for a dry, fast track and for the people more than anything. But, he's my horse, a good horse, and I think he'll run on pretty much anything.
That's it. I'm John Blunt. The Today Show continues.
Cucumber eye treatment, $45. Avocado hair infusion, $72. Citrus extract pedicure. Oh, you folks ought to shop at Acme. You could be saving a fortune on this stuff.
Don't miss our 4-day sale with Moran's Big Beef Patties. 5 pounds, just $5. Selected General Mills cereals, $1.88 each with SuperCard. And enjoy all kinds of fresh favorites at our Buck a Bag sale.
Oh, no thanks. I've got my own.
Acme, helping make your life easier.
This year, Garfield is helping Ashley Furniture Home Stores celebrate Memorial Day with great-looking Ashley furniture at unbeatable Ashley Direct prices. Want more? How about a free $100 accessory card? Still more? How about no interest till 2007? And you can enter to win a trip to the world premiere. This is one Memorial Day celebration even Garfield approves of. Only at Ashley Furniture Home Store. See Garfield the movie in theaters this June.
Summertime, and it's always a great night out at The Man, Philadelphia's unique open-air venue in the heart of Fairmount Park. Wine and dine or picnic under the stars with upcoming favorites. The Philadelphia Orchestra performing Carmina Burana, Rossa Milanov conductor, June 24th at 8 p.m. The Irish tenors, Ronan Tynan, Anthony Kearns, and Finbar Wright, July 9th at 8 p.m. Get outdoors to The Man this season. Call 215-893-1999 or visit mancenter.org.
Want to know what's happening this weekend? Log on to NBC10.com.
You're looking live at Belmont Park in Elmont, New York, and that's Campbell Brown on the trumpet, by the way, where horse racing history could be made later today when the Belmont Stakes are run. A record crowd expected to gather to see if Smarty Jones, the Derby and Preakness winner, can become the first horse to win the Triple Crown in 26 years. And speaking of crowds, we've got a nice one with us outside Studio 1A this morning. Big crowd, nice folks. We want to thank all of them for being here on this Saturday morning, and we're back. June 5th, 2004, I'm Lester Holt, along with Campbell Brown. We'll be going back to Belmont Park in just a moment for the latest on today's race. Also had this half hour, the diseases that stump even the experts. Symptoms like fatigue, anxiety, and aches can be related to an illness the doctor just didn't think about. We'll tell you what to do if you find yourself in such a situation.
And then it's likely to make it big at the box office over this weekend. We're talking about the latest Harry Potter installment, The Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm saying it right. Oh, I'm going to get some mail from some people if I don't say it right. The movie includes some familiar old characters and some new faces, especially one actor who's had to fill some pretty big shoes. And we're going to explain coming up. And then a little later on, we'll also have some good advice. You will have some good advice. You know about these things on the economics of giving your child an allowance, or I should say your wife does.
Yeah, she does.
We'll consult her.
I know. I think, well, I probably don't want to find out how much they're getting. She gives me an allowance, too, by the way, so it all works out. Anyway, but first to Smarty Jones in today's high-stakes Belmont Stakes. NBC's Ann Thompson at Belmont Park with more. Ann, good morning to you.
Good morning, Lester. The programs are out, and guess who is the cover boy today? It is Smarty Jones. He will race in the 11th race here at Belmont today. That is the Belmont Stakes, 1.5 miles, the last jewel in the Triple Crown. That's what he seeks, trying to become the first horse since affirmed in 1978 to win the Triple Crown, the first undefeated horse since Seattle Slew in 1977 to do it. And the odds on Smarty Jones are 2-5, the same odds that were on Seattle Slew in 1977.
And this horse is simply the talk of the country. What's the mood out at Belmont?
Well, Lester, I got here at 6:30 this morning, and I can tell you there were people and cars lined up already on Hempstead Avenue here in Elmont, Long Island, waiting to get in. This park opens at 8:30 this morning, and they are expecting a record crowd. The largest number of people they've ever had here at Belmont at one time is over 103,000. They're expecting to far surpass that number today.
Yeah, 2-5 odds for Smarty Jones. What's history tell us about horses trying to earn the Triple Crown?
He's got a tough road ahead of him. 28 horses have tried, only 11 have succeeded, 17 have failed. What makes it so hard is that this race is 1.5 miles, the longest of the 3 Triple Crown races. The other thing that's going against Smarty Jones is that no horse has won the Triple Crown here without running a race at the Belmont before, and so that's the other thing he's got going against him. It's a really hard thing to do.
We'll all be watching this evening. Ann Thompson, thanks very much.
Take care.
And now let's get another look at the rest of the morning's top news stories. And for that, we turn to MSNBC's Amy Robach. Hi, Amy.
Hi, good morning, Lester. Good morning, Campbell. President Bush continues his effort to mend fences with European allies today, meeting with French President Jacques Chirac in Paris. The visit comes after the president's trip to Italy. NBC's Keith Miller has the latest.
Amy, President Bush's brief visit to Europe is to honor the sacrifices of American and Allied soldiers during the Second World War. But it's the other war, the war in Iraq, that is dominating the agenda. In the Vatican, Pope John Paul II lectured the president about human rights, calling the Iraqi prisoner of use scandal deplorable. And on the streets of Rome, tens of thousands of demonstrators protested the president's visit and the war in Iraq. This morning at a joint news conference, President Bush appeared to be feeling the heat.
Those people stained our honor. And there will be a full investigation in a transparent way.
The Italian Prime Minister, Silvio Berlusconi, a close ally, vowed to keep Italian troops in Iraq until an elected government there takes over. President Bush welcomed the support. He won't find the same kind of commitment on his next stop, France. The ceremony to commemorate the 60th anniversary of D-Day will be clouded with the talk of the other war, a war that has proved to be overwhelmingly unpopular in Europe. At least the president leaves Italy with the full backing of the government here and gratitude for the sacrifices America made to liberate this country 60 years ago. Amy?
NBC's Keith Miller, thank you. Another American soldier has been killed. 3 others have been wounded in the latest violence in Iraq. The soldier died during an attack on a U.S. convoy in Baghdad. Meantime, new videotape has surfaced of a Kuwaiti truck driver who has been held hostage since Wednesday. His capture is apparently intended to discourage truckers from accepting deliveries to coalition forces. More fallout today in the aftermath of the mistaken arrest of a man in Oregon. Brandon Mayfield, an attorney and convert to Islam, was held for 14 days in connection with a terrorist bombing in Spain. The New York Times reports officials in Spain are now saying the FBI rejected information the arrest was based on faulty evidence. A bizarre rampage has ended in Granby, Colorado. Authorities say the owner of a muffler shop, apparently angered over zoning problems, drove an armor-plated bulldozer into several buildings. Grand County Commissioner Dwayne Daly joins us now from Granby. Good morning, Commissioner Daly.
Good morning. How are you?
Tell us how long the situation lasted and how it finally came to an end.
The situation started about 1600 hours yesterday afternoon, and it came to conclusion 2 a.m. this morning when the third and final explosive blast was taking place, and then actually it happened an hour before that. It took another hour with a acetylene cutting torch to cut through the top of the bulldozer and get into the cab.
And that is where you found Mr. Heemeyer. He was apparently dead. Now, I want to have you kind of sum up some of the damage. We can see some of it behind you for us.
Right behind me is the Granby Town Hall. You're looking at the east side of the building. The west side is the entire brick facade is ripped off of it on the west side. In addition, there's between 10 and 15 other buildings that were completely destroyed. Man's gone and a great number of vehicles.
Grand County Commissioner Dwayne Daly, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. And the Justice Department is taking on the fight against high gas prices. It's asking people to report any evidence they find of gasoline price gouging. It's set up a special number to report violations, 888-647-3258. That's the latest news. Now back to Lester and Campbell.
Thanks, Amy. And let's get another check of the weekend forecast. Outside, Amy Freeze from our NBC affiliate in Philadelphia. WCAU is with us in for Janice Huff. Amy, good morning.
Good morning to the both of you. We're getting a few sprinkles out here on the plaza. Some folks, it's not just Smarties Day. Who are you here?
We're here from St. Louis to wish Debbie happy birthday. Happy 50th birthday, Debbie.
To Aunt Debbie. So they're celebrating as well. Hopefully you brought your umbrella to enjoy New York because it's going to be rainy around here. The Northeast is seeing an area of low pressure with bringing rain showers, cool weather, and breezy conditions. It'll be a wet track for Smarty Jones. Very active weather day, though. Storms to the Central Plains and severe storms possible back to the Northwest. Now, for a look at what's happening outside your front door, here's your local.
Thank you very much, Amy. Good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Dave Warren with your Earthwatch weather forecast. Today we've got rain mainly in the morning, but showers continuing this afternoon. A breezy and cool day with a northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Rain slow to clear out, but by tonight, just mostly cloudy skies. Overnight down to the 50s in Philadelphia, 56 in the suburbs. And the Earthwatch 7-day forecast is the rain clearing out and then some very warm air by Thursday and Friday up to the 90s. Have a great weekend.
Now back to Campbell.
Thanks, Amy. There's some things you come to expect in a Harry Potter film, including big plot twist and big-time special effects. But in Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban, there were also some pretty big shoes to fill when an acclaimed actor's passing left casting directors looking for a new wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
In the first two enormously successful Harry Potter films, the role of revered wizard Albus Dumbledore was established by respected actor Richard Harris. But in October of 2002, just 3 weeks after his 72nd birthday, Richard Harris lost his battle with cancer. Not only a loss to the acting community, it also left millions of Harry Potter fans wondering who would replace him as the headmaster of Hogwarts.
Never lose your temper.
Sean Connery was asked to play the role well before shooting for the first film began, but turned it down. Actor Christopher Lee, best known for the 1958 film Horror of Dracula, was one name mentioned. Then there was Ian McKellen from The Lord of the Rings, whose look couldn't help but draw comparisons. After much public and private consideration, the decision was made. The new face of Dumbledore would be Michael Gambon, an Irish actor best known for his career on stage. Gambone's theater background gave him perspective in taking over the role.
Being, a theatre actor, every part I play has been played by someone else before. King Lear, all those parts. So that doesn't occur to me.
Happiness can be found.
Gambone took the role in his own direction with one subtle homage to Harris's portrayal.
Because I'm Irish, I put a little Irish accent in there as a little tribute to Richard.
And kids are already getting a look and weighing in on the new wizard.
I thought he was pretty cool. He did a good job because he really put a lot of spells and brought new teachers into the school.
Who is that? That man?
He's a murderer.
In a film with a decidedly darker tone, Gambone hopes his take on Dumbledore will be a welcome one.
I hope they like it. What can I say? I just hope they get entertained and have fun, get frightened. They should be frightened now and again. And I hope they feel safe with me.
And still to come this morning, uniform makeovers will transform 3 hardworking women from 9 to 5 to evening glamour. And hey, good looking what you got cooking. This morning, it's a Southern-style brunch. My accent returns for the last half hour. We'll have mouth-watering recipes when we come back.
I needed a change. Nothing too crazy. But who wants to be boring? At Lens Crafters, they help me find something new without turning me into someone else. So bring on the compliments.
Now get 50% off all lenses. Lens Crafters, you'll see we're better.
Low-carb lifestyle? Satisfy your cravings with the sweet flavor of International Delight. New and only 3 grams of carbs. Delight in every cup.
Isn't it nice when things just work? And you feel confident you made the right choice. Delta, beautifully engineered.
The allergy season's in full force. Most OTC allergy medicines may not last as long as you want. Not Benadryl allergy, not chlortrimeton 4-hour, not Tylenol severe allergy. But just 1 dose of once daily Allegra lasts up to 4 times longer than 1 dose of most OTC allergy medicines for people 12 and over. Side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or backache. Don't let another allergy day go by without Allegra, because who knows how long this allergy season will last. Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
A new clinical line and wrinkle corrector with Derma 3X technology works like no collagen injection. Because you don't just fix a wrinkle, you rebuild the look of your skin. Needles, pain, some women will try anything. Me? I'm calling my Avon lady.
Carb phobic? Relax. There's Dreamfields. Delicious, authentic pasta with 5 grams of digestible carbs. Look for Dreamfields in the black box.
Your UBS financial advisor can work with nearly 66,000 people in 50 countries. He can work with all the resources of one of the world's largest wealth management firms. But to understand what you need, he will always work right next to you. Could this be the most powerful 2-person financial firm in the world? You and us, UBS.
With Celebrex, I will play the long version.
Ask your doctor if Celebrex is right for you, or call 1-888-CELEBREX.
There. Now let him do it. Itchy rash a problem? Not anymore. New Cordaid cooling spray with hydrocortisone stops itch on contact. Cordaid, the cool way to stop the itch.
Today's Health is brought to you by Prevacid. Ask your doctor if prescription Prevacid is right for you.
This morning on Today's Health, diseases the experts miss. You expect doctors to be able to diagnose anything, but sometimes even they can be confused by vague symptoms. Dr. Mark Siegel is an associate professor of medicine at NYU Medical School. Dr. Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Lester.
Again, vague symptoms, sometimes vague that we don't even go to the doctor.
Right. You may not even know that you have a problem. Doctors have to keep in mind that common diseases present uncommonly, much more often than the other way around.
And we generally go to the doctor because we have a very specific ailment or problem that we're having.
It may simply be that you're fatigued or you're feeling anxious, and the doctor has to watch out and say, well, anxiety might reveal an underlying disease.
Well, let's talk about fatigue, because that apparently is one of the sometimes missed symptoms of hypothyroidism.
Correct. Somebody with hypothyroidism could have intolerance to the cold, just feel very tired, losing some hair, and again, they may not realize that they have a medical problem.
So they would be a bit sluggish?
Right.
Easy to test for?
Very easy to test for. A single blood test will tell you that, and then just a replacement of the hormone, and you're fine. So this is a very important thing.
And the other flip side of that coin, hyperthyroidism, what would the symptoms be of that?
Well, oftentimes the patient will just feel anxious, and they may be sweating, they may feel very hot, high heart rate, high blood pressure. Doctors have to watch out and not just call that anxiety. They must check a thyroid test.
At the same time, those could be symptoms for a lot of other things.
Absolutely. And 27 million people in this country have thyroid disease. Only half of those are known.
All right. Hepatitis C, once again, fatigue is a symptom.
That may be the only symptom for hepatitis C. And if you're a person that had a blood transfusion before 1992, or you have a sexual partner that has hepatitis C, you really should get checked for this.
Again, though, it's a blood test.
Just a simple blood test. And you can be treated with interferon, and there's been a lot of success with that.
But doctors are reluctant to just give a variety of tests for everything that may be symptomatic by fatigue, right?
Right, but doctors have to target a population and say, who's coming to me? But fatigue shouldn't just be written off as a person's tired. They must look for a medical reason.
All right, let's talk about another group of illnesses often associated, or they imitate other conditions. Syphilis and Lyme disease. Well, explain that connection.
Syphilis is known as the great imitator. The rash of secondary syphilis can look like anything. Along comes Lyme disease, which again, if you're in the Northeast, the Midwest, the Northwest, they're very common. Doctors have to say, if I live on Eastern Long Island, I might have Lyme disease. That rash can look like anything. It can be red, it can be pink, it can be round, it can be elliptical. You may not have the rash. 50% of people with Lyme disease don't even have the rash.
But I would think questioning a patient in this case, either about your sexual history or about where you live, your outdoor activities, might point a doctor in the right direction.
It's crucial, because not everybody that has Lyme disease is going to have a tick. And the same thing is true with multiple sclerosis, by the way, which is another great imitator.
It can imitate other neurological diseases.
Absolutely. It can look like a stroke. It can look like numbness. You can have a partial visual loss. So almost anything with a neurological finding could be multiple sclerosis.
Now, here's what I think a lot of folks try and diagnose on their own to find out, am I snoring heavily, or do I have sleep apnea, which we've heard a lot about?
Right. Well, 18 million people in the United States have sleep apnea. So if you are snoring and you're very fatigued the next day, see, with sleep apnea, you wake up a lot through the night, and it makes you fatigued the next day. So you should be checked for that if you have a lot of snoring.
And how dangerous is sleep apnea?
Well, it can cause a lot of other problems like heart disease and stroke. So with sleep apnea, you really got to get it tested.
Now, this I found interesting. Some of the diseases that often have no symptoms, very common, heart disease and cancer even can fall in this category.
Right. Well, with heart disease, we think of something like crushing chest pain, but a lot of heart disease, especially in diabetics, you have no symptoms at all. You might have mild shortness of breath. It is such a predominant problem in this country. 700,000 people per year die of heart disease that people have to be on the lookout of that.
And of course, many cancers don't show up right away until you're tested.
Exactly.
And often we don't get tested because we have no symptom.
Right, and that's part of the general doctor's visit. We have screening programs for cancer. Everyone over the age of 50 should have a colonoscopy. Over the age of 40, we should be screening people for breast cancer and prostate. This is very important.
And this is a good opportunity to point out that a lot of these found early, are very treatable.
Absolutely. They're curable if found early, and if they're not found early, they're not curable.
All right. Chlamydia, sexually transmitted disease. This is also a tricky one, I understand, to diagnose.
Right. 4 million cases per year, new cases of chlamydia, and you can have no symptoms at all, maybe mild burning. So sexually active people, especially people with more partners, really should be checked for chlamydia. Again, a simple test can look for chlamydia, and the treatment, just an antibiotic, cures it.
What's the lesson in all this in terms of our relationship with our doctor and that conversation we have in addition to the actual physical examination?
Well, the lesson is patients shouldn't be shy. They shouldn't be afraid to bring their symptoms to the fore, and doctors should not be afraid of looking outside the usual realm for something.
All right. Dr. Mark Siegel, all important stuff. Thanks very much for coming on
Thank
and
you,
sharing it
Lester.
with us. Good to have you. If you'd like more information on these and other commonly missed diseases, visit our website at weekendtoday.msnbc.com. We'll be right back, but first, this is Today on NBC.
What is breaking news?
Breaking news.
Breaking news right now. It's NBC 10.
Let's go live now to the scene.
Covering angles of the story no one else will.
NBC 10 has a copy of that letter.
NBC 10 News has learned exclusive details.
Putting more reporters on the scene.
We're getting pulled back by some of the police.
NBC 10 team coverage begins now.
Getting the story from the people who lived it.
We heard boom.
Because at NBC 10, we don't just cover the story, we get inside it.
Chief, I got to go right now because we're on the air.
That's NBC 10. Breaking news, breaking weather, breaking stories.
This is from me, Mom. It's something you've always wanted. It's your report card.
This moment brought to you by Sylvan Learning Center. We begin by identifying your child's specific needs, followed by individual attention, personalized lesson plans, and progress reports for you.
A summer at Sylvan can make all the difference. Call 1-800-EDUCATE today.
There's only one number one, and since the Great American Ford sales event was such a huge success, we're making you our number one priority by extending it to give you a great American deal. Now take advantage of 100% SUV in the new 2005 Escape for only $259 a month, equipped with features like a V6 engine, side step bars, and moonroof. Now lease Escape for $259 a month. There's only one Great American Ford sales event, and you've made it possible. So get to your Quality Plus Ford dealer now.
Summertime, and it's always a great night out at The Man, Philadelphia's unique open-air venue in the heart of Fairmount Park. Wine and dine or picnic under the stars with upcoming favorites. The Philadelphia Orchestra performing Carmina Burana, Ross and Middlenoff conductor, June 24th at 8 p.m. The Irish tenors, Ronan Tynan, Anthony Kearns, and Finbar Wright, July 9th at 8 p.m. Get outdoors to The Man this season. Call 215-893-1999 or visit mancenter.org.
Glamour transformation.
Plus, we'll dish up a delicious weekend brunch Southern style. That means some grits are going to be involved, I suspect, after these messages and your local news.
You wouldn't buy fruit with corn syrup or artificial preservatives. Why buy fruit drinks with them? Unlike fruit drinks, Juicy Juice is 100% juice with vitamin C. Because we like to give them 100%. Just like you do. Juicy Juice, the very best juice for the very best kids. Now your child can star in a free, customized storybook with Arthur. Look for these specially marked packages.
Being a redhead made me feel different. Now it's one of the things that makes me, me.
Revlon High Dimension Hair Color. So precise it only takes 10 minutes to deliver rich, dimensional color.
Only Revlon makes it. Only you make it unforgettable.
Introducing new Ore-Ida Extra Crispy Fries. The fries that stand and deliver.
The big news this allergy season is new Children's Alivert.
It's non-drowsy 24-hour relief that doesn't make kids tired like Benadryl can. Try non-drowsy Children's Alivert.
Right when kids need it, wherever they are.
These days, I welcome the morning rush.
Could Procrit be right for you? Talk to your doctor about Procrit or call 1-800-PROCRIT.
Olay Daily Facials cleanses, tones, exfoliates, conditions, and reveals such an improvement in your skin, you may be inspired to make other improvements.
They say change is good. I say change is great.
Daily Facials from Olay.
Yuck! He's just tasted milk that's been in a fridge without a fresh Arm & Hammer spill-proof fridge and freezer box.
A fresh box keeps milk tasting like it should.
Yum! Keeps coolers fresh between uses, too.
The difference between yuck and yum.
So many different people, so many different needs, yet they're all hoping for their piece of the American dream. Who's there to watch out for their best interests, to work with Congress on homeowners' rights, to give everyone the same opportunity to own a home? To serve everybody would take a small army, wouldn't it? The National Association of Realtors has 1 million members, and we're doing everything in our power to help all Americans realize their dream.
Look at you with the healthy new diet.
Oh, you should try it.
With all the vegetables. Doesn't it give you gas?
Oh, God, does it ever. If I don't take Beano first. You should try it, too.
You have me worried.
Take Beano before, there'll be no gas.
If your pets leave your carpet with hair and odor, try Arm & Hammer Pet Fresh.
With pet hair release, so pet hair vacuums up more easily. Plus baking soda to absorb deep down odors. Pet Fresh with pet hair release. And when you can't vacuum, use vacuum-free foam.
This is NBC 10 News Today.
Good Saturday morning. I'm Denise Nakano. Let's start with Dave Warren's Earthwatch forecast. A little damp out there.
It is. We are seeing some more rain in the area. However, some of it beginning to break up a bit. Here's a live picture of our center city from the Aqua Camp across the Delaware River. We still have cloudy skies and off and on showers. Live Doppler 10,000, keeping an eye out. Just a band of rain now moving through the Philadelphia area, but north and east, things are drying out a bit. Still more showers, though, around Baltimore. They will be moving through this afternoon. So we're looking at periods of rain off and on this afternoon. Temperatures only up into the upper 60s with a northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Denise?
Thanks, Dave. And Siafa Lewis, how's the traffic looking out there?
Good morning, Denise. Got a couple accidents to report to you very quickly here. In White Marsh Township, Morris Road between Lafayette Avenue and Shapeland, we have an accident. We have another one, very serious, Militia Road and Stanton Avenue. There's an accident with fire, police, and emergency crews on the scene. Taking a look at short traffic, 322 Langley Expressway and the Garden State Parkway looking smooth this morning. Live in the Traffic Call Center, I'm Siafa Lewis. Back to you.
Thanks, Siafa. A teenager is shot dead and a police officer is hurt after a shootout in Reading. The officer was shot near Oley Street at Schuylkill Avenue last night. The 17-year-old was shot and killed on Weiser Street. It happened just before midnight, and witnesses say there were at least 3 shooting scenes. In Wilmington, police say 26-year-old Melvin Williams killed Keith Qualis. It happened sometime before Thursday in a home on North Monroe Street. Officers found the body after neighbors complained of a foul odor. At least one person is killed in a deadly accident this morning in Montgomery County. NBC 10 was at Jarretttown and Dublin Road in Upper Dublin Township. A flatbed truck towed that car from the scene. And tonight, Smarty Jones runs for the Triple Crown. The horse from Philadelphia Park will be surrounded by many of his fans. Some Smarty fans are already off and running in New York City, and thousands more are expected to make the trip today. And you're invited to a Smarty party today at 22nd and the Parkway from 4:30 till 8 p.m. It's hosted by NBC 10 and the City of Philadelphia. Watch all the Smarty fun on a Jumbotron for free. Our Smarty Jones special report airs on the big screen at 4:30. Then watch the race live and stay through an NBC 10 post-race special. And NBC 10 is the place to watch Smarty Jones run for the Triple Crown. Live coverage of the Belmont Stakes begins today at 5:30. 2 Philadelphia brothers are the newest Powerball multi-millionaires. Jim and Tom Hare came forward yesterday in Harrisburg. They had the winning ticket for the $52 million May 29th Powerball drawing. The Hares run a printing business together in University City. In sports, the Phillies bats came alive in Atlanta last night as the team hammered the Braves 9-1. That's the news for now. I'm Denise Nakano. Have a great day and try to get some sunshine out there. Go Smarty Jones.
I'm back from vacation. Williamsburg, Virginia. Fun? With my brother? Yuck. Parts were okay, I guess, if you really like all that kind of stuff. But seriously, I was with my family. Duh. Emily! That's Mom. I've got to go bond. Hey guys, wait for me!
Bring your family closer. For your Williamsburg vacation package, call now.
We are a country of the future. We're a country of optimists. We're the can-do people.
For John Kerry, a stronger America begins at home. Real plans to create jobs here, not overseas. Lower healthcare costs, independence from Middle East oil. And in the world, a strong military and strong alliances to defeat terror. America, stronger at home, respected in the world. John Kerry for president.
I'm John Kerry, and I approve this message.
Trouble finding a signal? Try GSM America, only from AT&T Wireless. With double the coverage and improved signal strength, it's our best network ever.
Use mine.
Oh, thanks.
Sign up for our national plan now and pay no roaming charges anywhere in the U.S. We'll even give you a 30-day risk-free trial.
Thanks. So maybe I could call you sometime.
Apparently not.
GSM America from AT&T Wireless. How many bars do you have?
We're back this Saturday morning, June 5th, 2003. We got a nice crowd outside Studio 1A this morning. We want to thank them for getting up early to be with us. And just in case everyone's stomachs are growling, because nobody out here has had breakfast yet, I bet. I haven't. My stomach's growling. We have a great cooking segment coming up. We've got a treat, a Southern-style breakfast for everybody.
Gonna make some grits.
Yeah.
Some
Oh,
other
yeah.
good stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you
Chowing
get that
down.
little Southern twang. We start talking about Southern food. Also, it's a tricky thing for parents trying to figure out the whole allowance issue. How much do you give your kids? What should they be learning? Should this be an educational experience or just spending money? We're going to talk to an expert and get some advice on dealing with allowance in your kids.
And we're also going to meet 3 women who wear uniforms to work every day. We are giving these well-deserving women a glamorous makeover for little outfits for a night out on the town. Right, ladies? Get out of that old uniform. So that'll be a lot of fun.
All right. But before we get to all that, let's get another check on the weather. We go to Amy Freeze from our NBC station in Philadelphia, WCAU. Hi, Amy.
Good morning to the both of you. Hello, everybody. Still dry on the plaza, but the rain is headed in our direction, especially for Smarty's big day. We have some horse fans. Where are you guys from?
New Albany, Indiana.
New Albany, Indiana. I grew up not too far from there, Jeffersonville. What's your name?
Joyce Murphy.
Joyce, great to see you today. You brought some friends with you. They've got their signs. As far as the weather goes today in New Albany, Indiana, and places through the Ohio River Valley, you're starting with some fog, but it's going to be a decent day. You're one of the lucky ones. It's going to be stormy on the East Coast. Pretty strong cold front through the middle section of the country could produce some severe storms. And back to the northwest, a cold front is pushed through, bringing the numbers down. Tomorrow, the weekend does improve, especially out west. It gets warmer and hotter and drier. Still some stormy weather, though, for the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley's East Coast. You get to dry out. We'll see some lingering clouds and cool temperatures for the rest of the weekend. Not bad at all, though, if you are here in New York City today, so enjoy it. Now, for the weather outside your front door, here's the local forecast.
Thank you very much, Amy. Good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Dave Warren with your Earthwatch weather forecast. Today, we've got rain mainly in the morning, but showers continuing this afternoon. A breezy and cool day with a northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Rain slow to clear out, but by tonight, just mostly cloudy skies. Overnight down to the 50s in Philadelphia, 56 in the suburbs. And the Earthwatch 7-day forecast is the rain clearing out and then some very warm air by Thursday and Friday up to the 90s. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. Have a great day, everybody. Back to Campbell.
This portion of today is brought to you by One Touch Ultra. One Touch changes everything.
This morning on Today's Style, we are giving some women in uniform a much-deserved makeover, a well-deserved makeover. They work hard for the money day in, day out in their uniforms as a pastry chef at a New York City restaurant, an auto mechanic and trainer in New Jersey, and a parking enforcement officer in Connecticut. Good morning to all of you, and Jackie Stafford, who is with the style director for Shape Magazine, is with us. Glad to have you here as well.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about what generally your game plan is.
Well, these women wear uniform all day long for their profession, so we really want to take them out of that and give them a super glamorous, amazing look that they very rarely have the opportunity to do.
And let's meet our ladies, our victims. And first, Deborah Brassicott. You're a pastry chef at the Gotham Barn Grill here in New York City. Okay, and you look fabulous. How do you stay skinny and in shape when you're around pastries all day?
Moderation.
Jackie, come tell us what your game plan is
Well,
for Deborah.
With Deborah, our main point about her is we're so impressed that she does manage to keep her fabulous figure, being surrounded by all these great desserts that she creates for Gotham Bar and Grill. So, what we want to do is put her in an outfit that really shows off her fabulous figure and something that she can go and eat out in the town with her boyfriend.
And you're going to have hair and makeup done
Hair
as
and makeup,
well.
we're going to give a whole completely new look, hair, makeup and clothing.
But you have to keep your hair long, I know, because you have to have it out of your face when you work. But this will be fun. I can't wait to see. And next, Patricia Sames, and you're an auto mechanic, and I know you also teach.
That's correct.
So this is your daily uniform.
Yes, I work for Mercedes-Benz, and it's a big car. So we get to take off a lot of parts, tires come off, engines come out, a lot of physical work. But this is my daily uniform, and then sometimes I flip on my other hat and I teach dealership technicians on how to fix these cars, you know, how to work on a Mercedes-Benz.
Good for you. So Jackie, what are you going to do to her?
She's such a girly girl, but working with cars all the time. I know, who knew? She came to us and she said, I'm a real feminine girly girl. I mean, you are? But she really never had the chance to truly embrace her femininity, so we want to put her in something super fabulous, super sexy, so she can really show the boys over at Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, fun. Well, I'm
Should be fun.
excited. I can't wait to see your outfit. Parking enforcement in Connecticut, Joyce Griffin.
Yes.
So you're on your feet a lot of the time, and I know you have kids too, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So how are you managing? I mean, that's a lot.
Fine. I mean, I go to work every day and come home and...
But hard to do, especially when you have children, I know. Try to think about fashion on top of work, on top of the kids.
Right, right.
So Jackie?
Well, Campbell, what we want to do with Joyce is because she is a busy mum, she has very little time for herself. So we try and want to find an outfit that really does double duty. So she's got a wedding coming up that she wants to go to. And on the rare occasion she gets to go out with her girlfriends, we want to get her something that she can wear out at night on the town with her friends and also at the wedding in about a month.
This is going to be fun. Now tell us what you're doing right after this.
We are whisking these three gorgeous women over to Manhattan's John Frieda salon. We're going to give them fabulous hair and makeup there, and then we're going to take them shopping to get some fabulous clothes.
Can I go? No! This is going to be great fun. Have a great day, and we can't wait to see how it all turns out tomorrow. They'll all be back to show us the end result. Thank you, Jackie, for being with us. And coming up next, some tips on giving allowances to your children. That's after these messages in your local news.
Millions of people have high blood pressure. Are you one of them? New medical guidelines state that less than 120/80 is a normal blood pressure for most adults. High blood pressure medicine is recommended for numbers at or above 140/90. Fact is, about half the people already taking prescription medicine still haven't gotten their numbers down enough. And every day your numbers are not where they should be, you could be damaging the tiny vessels that lead to your brain, eyes, and heart. So how can you work with your doctor to help set and reach your BP goal? Get with the program, the new Take Action for Healthy BP program from Novartis. Find out if it's right for you. It's simple and comes with a money-back guarantee. Ask your doctor for a Healthy BP pack. You'll start with a free 30-day first-time trial prescription to help you reach your goal, plus free blood pressure tools, including your own BP monitor. So get with your doctor, get with the program, and get your numbers down.
Diabetes doesn't wait.
You never keep me waiting.
But does your meter take longer than 5 seconds to give you a result?
Right on time.
What are you waiting for? Switch to One Touch Ultra. Results in 5 seconds.
For those who live for the thrill of the grill, there's a new secret to grilling that has them all fired up. New Pam for grilling. It's no stick at higher temperatures and makes cleanup a snap. New Pam for grilling. Another reason Pam is America's favorite no-stick cooking spray.
This is a story about the old us.
And the new us.
About the new Hydroxycut. And how I lost the weight and got in shape.
And I lost the weight and looked better than ever.
How we watched what we ate.
And how we exercised regularly.
The new Hydroxycut really does work.
The old us?
The new us.
End of story.
Lose 2 to 3 times the weight than with diet and exercise alone with new Hydroxycut. Available caffeine-free.
You wouldn't buy fruit with corn syrup or artificial preservatives. Why buy fruit drinks with them? Juicy Juice is 100% juice with vitamin C. Juicy Juice, the very best juice for the very best kid.
The worse my congestion got, the longer my route took. Now, I'm clear to go.
Claritin Clear means non-drowsy relief from your worst symptoms, even congestion.
There's clear, Then there's Claritin Clear.
Today's Money is brought to you by LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win.
This morning on Today's Money, giving your kids an allowance, knowing when to start the practice and how much money to dole out can be a tricky proposition for a lot of parents. But David Bach has some good advice that may help parents. He's the host of his own radio show and author of The Automatic Millionaire. David, good morning. Good to have you back with us.
Good to see you.
Now, tell me about the approach to an allowance. Is it just spending money, or is this supposed to be a life lesson here?
It's really a life lesson. And parents say, you know, David, when do I start teaching my kids about money with an allowance? And the answer is the moment your kids come to you asking you for money at the grocery store, when you become the bank of mom or bank of dad or the walking ATM machine, that's when you give them an allowance, and then that's when you use the money that you're giving them to teach them about money.
And you've got some advice, which we'll get to in a moment, but let's talk about spending habits first of all. I guess that their best example of how to spend money comes from mom and dad, right?
Our kids learn not by what we say, but what we do. And I'll give you a great example of this. I did a show with Oprah in January, and we were making over a couple that was $25,000 in credit card debt in their early 30s. And we had the 4-year-old daughter off the set, as they say. And when we cut the credit cards up in front of the camera, the 4-year-old daughter came running into the room, grabbed onto her mom's leg, and started crying, saying, Mommy, Mommy, how are we going to go out and eat lunch? And I was like, oh my, it was like an aha moment, because what I saw was a 4-year-old little girl realizes that Mommy and Daddy use their credit cards to live off.
And so there we get to the life lesson early and the influence we have. Now, what's a good age to begin an allowance?
Again, when they start asking you about money, really about 3 years old. You're at the grocery store and they want you to buy them a candy bar. That's when you say, you know what, we're giving you an allowance. Now you pick the allowance, whatever's appropriate.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
that
how
child.
much for a 3, 4, 5-year-old?
You know,
what do you give
the
them?
going rate all over America,
There's a
going rate for allowance, and it tends to be $1 per year per week. So if you have a 3-year-old, you give $3.
Yeah, don't fall into the trap I do where you give too much for the tooth fairy and then it's all over.
That's right, and then they want more each time you get a raise.
Tooth fairy inflation. Well, let's go through some of your advice, because you suggest splitting up the allowance into 3 separate sections. The first for spending, to keep track of spending. How much do we put in?
Yeah, you want to have 3 envelopes. And I literally would sit down with your kids and give them 3 envelopes. And what you say is, look, if we're giving you $10 as an example, 80% of that, $8, it's going to go into an envelope and you can spend it. What mom and dad want you to do is write on the envelope where you're spending it each month before we'll give you money for the next month. So they get used to tracking what they spend, and they'll get real good at that. Then you give them another envelope. The second envelope is what I call pay yourself first. So you're actually teaching your kids 10% of the allowance is going to go into this envelope for savings. Now, for children who are young, you say, look, 1 year, you can save the money for 1 year, then you can spend it. Then the second, third envelope is money to give, and that's 10% to go out to charity.
Which is a great idea, to implant that idea in them early.
Think about what we just talked about, 80% spending, 10% saving, and 10% giving. If we could teach kids to do this and actually do it by example, we would change the world. We wouldn't have parents living paycheck to paycheck, we'd have savings, and we'd be helping other people.
Now, I remember as a kid having a passbook account for a while, and those don't earn anything. So should you be investing your child's allowance?
No question. I bought my first stock at age 7, and the way that happened is my grandma Bach at McDonald's one day said, David, there's 3 types of people that come here. Those that eat cheeseburgers like you're doing right now, those that work here for minimum wage, and those that own this place. And she said, you want to learn how to be an owner. And at 7 years old, she taught me how I could buy stock and helped me buy my first stock. And she said, David, owners always get rich. And whenever you go somewhere, remember, there's people who spend, people who work, and people who own. At 9 years old at Disneyland, I bought my second stock. And so
how do you, I mean, let's say your child has amassed $100 in their piggy bank. How do you go about buying stock for them?
You know literally what parents can do right now, they can walk into their child's bedroom and see, what is the kid interested in? You know, kids play video games. Guess what? A company like Electronic Arts makes those video games. They can turn to their child and say, I'm going to help you buy 1 share of stock in that company, Electronic Arts, so that when you buy a video game, you also know that you own that company.
But they're also learning about the risk of stocks, which means you could lose that share,
and it's
or the value of that share.
No question. And it's very easy. You can go into a brokerage firm. You can buy 1 share of stock today online. You can even have the stock certificates, what's called issued out. You can frame the stock certificate. A lot of parents do that for young kids. Put it on their wall. Teach them how to look it up in the newspaper. Again, the point is you're teaching your children at a young age how to be smart with money.
Well, we talk life lesson. If it's a life lesson, then should it also be pegged as a salary? certain duties must be performed in order to receive this allowance?
Personally, I believe it should. And a lot of parents are against this. They say, well, the kids should do chores anyway. Let's face it, the kids don't always do chores.
Well, yeah.
When I was growing up, my parents had a list on the refrigerator. These are the things you have to do. At the end of the week, if we hadn't done them and the boxes weren't checked off, we didn't get our allowance. And what my parents did, which was a really good role model for me, was they said, David, if you want extra money, we have extra chores. So if you want extra money this week because you want to buy something, go clean the garage. You'll get $1.50 for that. And that got me in the habit of going, oh, if I work harder, I make more money.
Now, the other risk we fall, and I've fallen as a parent, is sometimes I need money for this. Well, what about your allowance? I don't have any. Do you give it? If it's a life lesson, when you're out of money, you're out of money.
I think
unless mom or dad are the bank.
You're really trying to teach your kids to be smart with their money and give them that there are consequences. So I tell parents, let your kids make mistakes, but let them realize, hey, if they waste all their money today on the first day of the week with candy, they're not getting anything else later that week until they get their next allowance.
Because in life, it means the rent doesn't get paid or
That's
something
right.
else. David Bach, always good to have you by. You always bring such good advice. Appreciate having you here. And we're back with more after this, but first, this is Today on NBC.
The season for great music and entertainment outdoors is here, and you can get it all at the Mann Center. I'm NBC 10's Doug Kammerer. This summer, check out great performers like the Doobie Brothers, the Irish tenors Diana Krall, and legendary crooner Tony Bennett. Plus, great cultural performances from the Boston Pops, the Gypsy Kings, and the New York Gilbert and Sullivan Players. NBC 10 is proud to partner with the Mann Center for a summer of excitement under the stars. Call 215-893-1999 or log on to NBC10.com for ticket information.
So what do you think?
It's okay. You know what, honey? Why don't you treat yourself? You deserve it.
It's Macy's Customer Appreciation Sale with extra savings every time you use your Macy's card. Going on now.
Macy's. Way to shop.
Cucumber eye treatment, $45. Avocado hair infusion, $72. Citrus extract pedicure. Oh, you folks ought to shop at Acme. You could be saving a fortune on this stuff.
Don't miss our 4-day sale with Moran's Big Beef Patties. 5 pounds, just $5. Selected General Mills cereals, $1.88 each with SuperCard. And enjoy all kinds of fresh favorites at our Buck a Bag sale.
Oh, no thanks. I've got my own.
Acme, helping make your life easier.
It's Floors USA's most incredible financing event ever. Save big with 36-month interest-free financing. Buy today, finance until 2007. Save big on Floors USA's incredible selection of flooring and area rugs, ceramic tile and laminate, hardwood, carpeting, and more. Come in now. The 36-month financing event is this weekend only. Selection service savings. You'll find it at Floors USA, King of Prussia and Morristown, Maple Shade, New Jersey.
We're going to postpone our cooking this morning to let you know about a developing story that we have to report. This is from this concerning former President Ronald Reagan. NBC News has learned that his health has been deteriorating, and this is a report from David Gregory, our White House correspondent who is traveling with President Bush, who is telling us that the White House has been told in the past week President Reagan's health has deteriorated. According to sources familiar with the situation, the White House has been told that his death could come soon. It could be a matter of months, but the family, we know, has been gathering around him at certain points. So this
Apparently
is
a friend in personal position had visited the house as recently as yesterday, and as you mentioned, family members had stopped by. Now, obviously, the Alzheimer's is that kind of disease. Anyone who's had anyone, lost anyone through it knows it's a very cruel disease, and you know it's hard to predict when the end comes. But it's you know we've all been kind of braced for this. I think it was '94, I believe, is when he announced that he had Alzheimer's disease. And
some of the most moving things that I remember is when Nancy Reagan has talked about, you remember the letter she shared and talked about her relationship over the years. You know, he has completely faded from public view, but she has kind of kept that spirit alive by talking about their relationship and sort of the happy memories of their time together.
Yeah, and we over the years we've heard various reports of his condition. I think the most stunning one was, and I can't remember when this was, but when it was reported that he couldn't remember being president again. And that's so hard for us to grasp. You know, 8 years as President of the United States, and then to not be able to remember that. And again, that's the typical progression of Alzheimer's disease. The family's been very private, obviously, during this very difficult time for them, and we will all wait and wish them all the very best. They go through this difficult time.
And we should also point out that this is nothing imminent that we know of at this stage, that there have been reports that his health has deteriorated, but as you said, you can't tell with Alzheimer's, and there's no sense at this stage that
yeah, and we should put it in perspective. This is coming. We're getting official confirmation, essentially, what's happening. That probably what we would all assume and know is that his health is deteriorating, but no reports beyond that. There have been various rumors and reports over the last several weeks and months, but this is the first time anyone officially has said that the end may be near for President Reagan.
And we'll keep you up to date if there are any more developments. We're going to take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Sprint's got wireless and wireline integrated, managed as one seamless network.
Yeah, but we're meeting with AT&T.
And AT&T Wireless.
Huh?
Hi. Hello. How you doing?
Hi.
How are you? AT&T. AT&T Wireless.
So when do we meet with Sprint?
Two guys, one suit. You should have seen him.
Sometimes seeing is believing.
Get integrated wireline and wireless services from one company. Get the facts at Sprint.com. One Sprint, many solutions.
Max, go get the paper. Good boy. Now I go the extra step with my new stepometer. It comes in the new Go Active Adult Happy Meal, along with a bottle of water and one of 4 premium salads from McDonald's. I'm loving it.
What's in your ice cream?
There's not fake things, there's real things. These are all the things right here that are real. If you want all natural taste right here, you get Breyers. It tastes so good.
Breyers ice cream. It's only natural.
You have radiant skin. You just haven't discovered it yet.
New Aveeno Positively Radiant Cleansing Pads. One side gently exfoliates while the other with conditioning soy cleanses and softens skin.
Discover your radiant skin.
New Positively Radiant Cleansing Pads.
With Celebrex, I will play the long version.
Ask your doctor if Celebrex is right for you, or call 1-888-CELEBREX.
If you want to see every day in a new light, you can. You can let Mother Nature in, or keep her out. Only the Home Depot makes it possible. We're America's first choice for Andersen, the most preferred name in doors and windows. And now through June 20th, get no payments, no interest for 12 months on any Andersen purchase of $299 or more. Just use your Home Depot consumer credit card. With Andersen and a little know-how from the Home Depot, you can transform anything. The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Dear DirecTV, your customer service people answer the phone quickly, solve my issues, and are extraordinarily knowledgeable. If I were still single and DirecTV were a woman, I'd marry you. Thanks again, Jason Steve. It sounds like Jason's confused.
Get over 125 channels for $29.99 a month for 6 months, plus equipment and installation for up to 3 rooms free.
This is Today on NBC with Campbell Brown and Lester Holt. All the news you need, the information you want, and a little fun, too. Campbell and Lester, every weekend only on Today on NBC. Next week, a special series for men and the women who love them. Today takes on prostate cancer, medical breakthroughs, treatment options, and more. Plus, the magic of the Cirque du Soleil live on the Plaza. And our Toyota concert series is booked twice with Mark Anthony on Tuesday and Kid Rock on Friday. All next week on Today.
This Monday, the beginning of NBC's new summer season. Starting with Fear Factor, a speeding car and a semi. You do the math. Then, last summer's #1 show, For Love or Money, is back. But there's a twist. They could be playing for $1 million or a single buck. They don't know, but he does.
If he is playing me, I'm going to kill him.
Fear Factor and the premiere of For Love or Money, NBC's new summer season, starts this Monday. This Monday, For Love or Money is back with a huge twist. They could be playing for $1 million or a single buck. All new For Love or Money, NBC this Monday.
And as I reported a moment ago, the White House is apparently being told now that President Reagan's health has deteriorated. You can stay tuned to NBC and MSNBC all day long for the latest developments on this story.
That's right. Also coming up tomorrow on Today, we're going to have the results of our women in uniform makeovers. We'll show you how the ladies look after they spend a well-deserved day at a New York City salon.
Plus, Home Cheap. We'll show you some amazing, creative, and low-cost ideas to decorate your living space. We'll see you all back here tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
This has been a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
This weekend, celebrate the heroes of D-Day with special live programming from MSNBC and NBC News. D-Day at 60, a celebration of heroes. All day today and tomorrow on MSNBC.
They came to the World Championships as the ultimate underdogs, but nobody told them. The U.S. gymnastics team, 2003's world champions, 2004's Olympians. The Olympic Games coming to the networks of NBC.
The next big thing in reality television is the search for the next action star. Thousands auditioned, now 14 in one house.
Shut up.
Competing for the chance to star in a major motion picture.
Someone's gonna punch you in the mouth.
Next action star, NBC 1 week from Tuesday.
This is NBC 10 News Today.
Good Saturday morning. I'm John Blunt. Meteorologist Dave Warren has that all-important Earth Watch forecast.
And for right now, we are seeing some of the rain begin to clear out a bit. Still quite a bit on live Doppler 10,000, though. Let's head outside first, show you a live picture from our aqua cam. Still looking for some sunshine. Nothing right now. This is Center City, as seen from just across the Delaware River. Now live Doppler 10,000 has a band of rain through central Chester County and Delaware County, but beginning to break up a bit, but plenty of rain to the west. That will sweep through this afternoon. So looking for periods of rain. A northeast wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour, keeping it cool today with temperatures just about to 70 degrees. John?
Checking the highways, Siapa Lewis, Digital Traffic Pulse.
Good morning, John. Folks, got a couple accidents to report this morning in White Marsh Township. First and foremost, we have Morris Road between Lafayette Avenue and Shape Lane. There's an accident there. And a little bit further south, Militia Hill Road at Stenton Avenue. There's a serious accident there with fire, police, and emergency crews on the scene. Heading down the shore today, 322 Atlantic State Expressway and Garden State Parkway looking great. Live in the Traffic Pulse Center, I'm Siapa Lewis. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Siapa. In the news, 2 New Jersey National Guard members are killed in an ambush in Iraq. The names of the soldiers from Brick and Carlstadt have not yet been released. 3 other soldiers were also killed, and 3 other New Jersey soldiers were wounded in the same attack. So while shooting in Reading, and it kills a teenager and injures a police officer, the officer was shot near Oley Street and Schuylkill Avenue. The 17-year-old was shot and killed on Wisner Street. Witnesses say there are at least 3 different shooting scenes. Hey, Philadelphia radio legend has died. Joe Niagara was reportedly the first disc jockey to play rock and roll in the Philadelphia area. He retired in July 1999. Joe Niagara was 76. Philadelphia's own Smarty Jones could become the first Triple Crown winner in 26 years. Smarty was on the Belmont Racetrack track yesterday. Today's rainy forecast adds an element of surprise to this race, but Smarty hasn't shown any signs of slowing down on a wet track. You're invited to a Smarty Jones party today at 22nd and Parkway from 4:30 until 8 p.m. tonight. It's hosted by NBC 10, the City of Philadelphia. A Smarty Jones special report airs on the big screen at 4:30. That's the latest. I'm John Blunt. The French Open tennis is coming up next.
So you want to buy a digital camera?
David Ritz for Ritz Camera.
First, compare our prices to any other store.
You'll love the Nikon Coolpix 2200 digital camera. Incredible 3x optical zoom, 2 million pixels, all for only $149.99. And Kodak's EasyShare DX6490 digital camera with an amazing 10x optical zoom, 4 million pixels, and point-and-shoot simplicity.
Then, check out our digital camera package and classes, included free. You won't even think about buying a digital camera anywhere else, I promise.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Splash. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again.
That aqua velva face, so firm,
so fit. That manly scent.
Rain on the blue comes that cool blast your feelings. Rain on the blue as she touches your skin.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva Man.
When you have emphysema or COPD, even the simplest tasks become difficult. Getting around your own home can be the biggest chore of your day. Fortunately, a newly released government study has shown that a treatment called lung volume reduction surgery can...
Today, it is pretty muggy out there this morning considering how nice of an end of the week we had, nice, sunny, and dry. Here's a live shot outside right now from Center City from the AquaCam. Looking across the Delaware River, we've got just a few high, thin clouds. The temperature's warming up through the mid-60s right now. Keeping an eye on the watch weather forecast. That'll be coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Top of your news this Saturday morning. The fight to save Philadelphia's children from acts of violence. Today, one community coalition wants to spread the message of peace. NBC 10's Lisa Kelly is live now at the Deliverance Evangelistic Church in North Philadelphia with the latest. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning to you, John. The statistics are absolutely staggering. Since September, 24 Philadelphia school children have been murdered. And because of that, today, thousands are expected out here for the march, including a very special mother and her son. Every day for the past 12 years, Dee Smith is reminded of the senseless violence that forever altered the lives of her and her son Marcus.
Change his pamper, feed him, bathe him, push him around.
He's now 30 years old, but in April 1991, the then 18-year-old was shot in the neck outside a store in North Philadelphia, leaving him a paraplegic only 2 months before he was to graduate from St. Joe's Prep and head to Harvard.
He was a bookworm. People at the prep and Jesus called him Dr. Marcus. The neighborhood called him Dr. Marcus because he wanted to be a doctor and come back to the neighborhood to open up something to give to the neighborhood.
That's why she and Marcus will lead today's Save Our Children march, hoping his presence will inspire others to stop the violence.
It will wake up a lot of people because a lot of people are fed up. We are so much fed up. When is going to stop?
And the march begins this afternoon here at the church at 2 o'clock. Reporting live from North Philadelphia, Lisa Kelly, NBC 10 News.
So get out if you can. Again, the march to save the children at 2 p.m. today. It starts at the Deliverance Evangelistic Church at 22nd and Lehigh in North Philadelphia.
Disturbing video out of Iraq this morning. An American may be the latest victim of a rash of kidnappings. A new video shows Iraqi gunmen holding a prisoner